What's up, y'all? What it is, what it ain't, what it's gonna be. I just had to jump on here real quick and talk about this Niecy Nash situation. Baby, when she came with that news, when she came with the fact that she had just got married to a woman, she set the internet on fire. Do you hear me? Jaws were dropped. I was like, oh my God. I could not believe it. And the crazy thing is, I didn't even know this lady was gay. And I'm still kind of questioning whether or not she's really gay or not. I really kind of feel like she's going through a phase. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. I do feel like she's going through a phase. And this is the reason why I'm gonna tell you why I feel like she's going through a phase. First, the way that she came out with that information. If it wasn't a phase, or if it wasn't something for shock value or a publicity stunt, I'm not gonna say that she don't love the lady or whatever the case may be. Just because you're pure in your intentions with the person that you're with doesn't mean that you're not doing something for a publicity stunt either. When you time things a certain type of way, you could be madly in love with somebody or whatever the case may be. That has nothing to do with it. Me saying that it seems somewhat of a publicity stunt doesn't necessarily mean that her love for this woman is fake. I'm not saying it. But I feel like she kind of used the situation for shock value. And I do feel like it's a phase. And just because it's a phase doesn't mean that it's not a phase that she's going through where she really probably feel like she's gay. So her phase is her reality right now. So it's not to negate her feelings. It's not to say she playing faking or nothing like that. It's just a simple fact that I feel like she's just going through a phase just because of the way that everything was done. And then you got to keep in mind, not too long ago, I don't keep up with Niecy Nash like that. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I don't even watch that show Claws, but I know something about it. Just the same way how I know that she got married. You see the headlines and all that kind of stuff. So I know that Niecy Nash was married to a man. I know she had put out that book. I was aware that she put out that book, and she was talking about, because that was one of the big talks around the internet when she was talking about how to please a man and all this old kind of stuff, suck dick on the man and all of that. So I am fully aware of that part of it, so it's interesting to me that she came out that way, but all at the same time, it is what it is, but I do feel like it's a phase. And I really do hope that Niecy Nash didn't get with this woman because she's just tired of dealing with men. I find that it's a lot of women that aren't even gay or bisexual that end up dealing with a woman. And I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I think it's a fear of being alone. Like, a lot of women be afraid to be alone so bad to the point where they'll end up being with a woman just so they won't be alone. And don't actually be gay or bisexual. And I could tell you something, and this is from what I've learned from people who are bi-curious. Even if you're not actually gay or bisexual, and you're bi-curious, and you're looking to deal with the same sex just to see how it feels, it is possible for you to have those fantasies, mess around and mess with that person of the same sex, catch a feeling, and wind up in a relationship with the same sex. And now you're sitting up there questioning your sexuality, like, am I really gay? And you thinking the whole time that you're really gay, but you're really not, because you're not naturally attracted to the same sex. You're when you're actually gay, or you're actually a lesbian, or whatever the case may be, you're naturally attracted to the same sex. Being bi-curious or something like that, it's more so it is what it is. You're just curious about it. Your natural response to seeing a woman walk past is not, oh, I want to mess with her or whatever. You probably get the idea from watching something, maybe watching porn or something like that. and then you end up messing with somebody, and then once you mess with that person, you catch a feeling, and now next thing you know, you walking down the aisle married to a woman because you was playing. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know if that was the case with her, but that ended up being the case with a lot of women, especially a lot. I mean, men go through the same thing, but that end up being the case with a lot of women. Women are more prone to. You don't find heterosexual men hollering about, I'm sick of women, I might as well go get me a man. You don't hear heterosexual men saying it. But heterosexual women play around like that all the time. And then it piques their interest, and then they end up having to act, and they get more attached to the feeling, and then they later get attached to the person. So it's very possible that she is going through a phase, and I feel like she's dealing with a fear of not wanting to be alone. Even when you look at the timeline of her being married, getting a divorce, then next thing you know, she pop up. She ain't even come out and say she dating this lady. How long was y'all dating, Niecy? Dang, you ain't even say you was dating a lady. Next thing you know, whatever time frame, that little bit of time y'all had, y'all done popped up and fell in love. Y'all done fell deep in love. Y'all dangerously in love. Y'all done turned around and got married that fast. So, it is what it is. So, I'm like, just really questioning whether or not it's a phase. I do feel like it's a phase, but I also do feel like it's more tied to the simple fact that she has a fear of being alone. That makes more sense to me. It is very possible that she has always been bisexual. The only thing that kind of bothers me with that, with her being, if she is indeed bisexual, it's like a lot of times when people are bisexual, other people treat bisexual people like it's some type of freak show. Like everything is up for grabs. They down for whatever. They up for threesomes and all this old kinds of stuff. The way that she made that jump is not a good representation to me of how bisexual people move. And it's only because of the fact that she went straight from a marriage with a man to a marriage with a woman. So it automatically it automatically appears as if she only did this because she's sick of men and she's been hurt by a man or whatever the case may be. And then on the as far as it pertains to being bisexual, it's like a lot of people have an issue with dealing with people who are bisexual because they feel like if you are bisexual, then you're always going to want the same sex at some point. And they have this fear that you're going to leave me for the same sex at some point. A lot of bisexual women are more accepted in society than bisexual men are. Like heterosexual men that get into a relationship with a bisexual woman, they don't really concern themselves a whole lot. They feel like that gives them free range so they could play, so they can make comments about women, compliment women, flirt with women, or possibly have a threesome and all that kind of stuff. They feel like, it's field day for them when they get in a relationship with a woman that is bisexual. But heterosexual men or heterosexual women don't feel the same way about bisexual men. And so the thing is, when you're bisexual, you have to be careful in how you're moving because a lot of people feel as though bisexual people can't be faithful because you're going to always want the same sex at some point. And really and truly, being bisexual, it only means that you are attracted to both sexes. It doesn't mean that you can't be loyal and you can't be faithful to somebody that you with. It just means that you have an attraction for both sexes and you're open to love both sexes. That's all that means. So you shouldn't And you shouldn't be in a relationship if you decide to be in a monogamous relationship with a man and you're a bisexual woman. You shouldn't feel like you get to have free range to play on the other side just because you're a bisexual, because you're really supposed to be into a person not because of what's between their legs, but because of who they are. And that's the reason why bisexual people are able to, a lot of times, love both sexes, because they are just turned on just more so the person, not the genitalia and things like that. So I hope that this isn't a phase for her. I wish she would have came out with it a little bit better than what she did. I think with her shocking us with it, it raised too many questions. And I also feel like it raised a whole lot of questions on the gay community, because the way she moved with it, I don't think it's a good representation for bisexual women. I really don't. Or even vicarious women. I really don't feel like that was a good way to go about it. But that's her business. She could do whatever it is that she want to do. But I still just don't feel like that was a good way that she went about it. And hopefully it's not a phase. I don't know. But she came out with that book about all the things to do to please a man and everything. And I would think if this lady was really lesbian, that she wouldn't go into all those details about, pleasing a man in a book or whatnot. So I don't know. She definitely, I can't say definitely, because that's that woman business. But I don't feel like she's a lesbian. I do feel like it is possible that she is a bisexual, but I just don't feel like she didn't represent it well with the way that she came out of it in just the time frame. Some people were sitting up saying that maybe she was in relationships with men and she was torn with her sexuality, and she realized that she's really into women and she wants to be with a woman and she's actually a lesbian. I really prefer if that is the case. I would prefer for that to be the case versus her being bisexual in the way that she came out with it. The way she, I ain't for that. I am not for the way that she came out with it. She could have did that a whole lot better. To me, you in the limelight. You know how things are. You know how I'm like, don't use this right here, especially when your sexuality is tied to it and all of that or whatever. It's like you want to do it and you timed it, you kept it away from the public and everything. Then next thing you know, here you go trending. I don't know. I think that just should have been done a little better, because in the gay community, it's already a lot of stigma that people have. It's a lot of perceptions that people have. You already got these people that walk around and feel like it's some type of external forces and something that you watch on TV or some way that you was raised or something like that made you the way that you are. Maybe you were dealt with some sexual misconduct or something like that. All of this kind of stuff come into play. Like, people try to find reasons as to why and try to explain how someone end up being gay or bisexual, right? But nobody is sitting down trying to figure out if there's a reason why someone became gay or bisexual, then there needs to be a reason why somebody became a heterosexual, right? But that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? We just got to deal with the fact that that is not the case. And with that not being the case, the way she did it would lead one to believe like, okay, you could just up one day be mad at the opposite sex, and decide you're gonna go over here and play in the lady pool, and that's just how it works. Like, you can make a decision up out your sleep one day and decide, hey, you know what, I'm gonna go over here and try this out. I don't think that was cool. It's just, and it might seem like I'm thinking too deep into it, but you have to take in considerations of the optics. You have to take into consideration of the noise and the things that you hear. You know, you have all of these people more often than not that's saying that this stuff is a choice anyway. You know, I've had somebody that even went to the extent of saying that it was a disease. Like, seriously. So it's a lot of noise behind it. So the optics definitely have to be clear when you're maneuvering, because you don't want her situation to one day possibly be used as an example of, well, it gotta be a choice. Look at what Niecy Nash did. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't, I think if she kind of like gradually led us into it and explained and had some backstory behind it or whatever, so we could kind of get an idea, because it would make more sense to people to say, hey, listen, I've always been like this, I battle with it, and I'm actually a lesbian. That's cool. Even the bisexual card, that'll work, but all at the same time, it's still a poor representation of a bisexual person because of the timeline. So now you got the whole thing where, because of what's going to be tied to it, it's because this whole time we've known you as a heterosexual woman. So not what's going to be tied to it is, oh, you was mad at this man. You're mad at men. You done. You give up on men. So now you want to deal with a woman. That's what that's going to be. So that's going to be the noise behind all of that. That's what the undertone and what people are going to be saying about that. So it was just too much. You know, I mean, my hat goes off to her. Kudos to her and her wife. They look happy. Everyone deserves to be happy. I just think it's not necessarily a phase, but a problem with her not being able to be alone. I think that's what it is. Oh yeah, while I'm talking, because I don't want this video to cut off, this mug is by art by _chunk G on Instagram. This is one of the podcasts that I do along with Kitty Saints, aka Auntie Kitty. She also has a podcast that she does on Fridays at 5 a.m. called Coffee with Kitty. And this is a show that we do every Tuesday at 6 p.m. called Locked and Loaded. We just started streaming it from YouTube, but we was doing it on Facebook. I know a lot of the people say that only old people is still on Facebook, but I'm still over there. You hear me? I'm still over there on Facebook, and we stream on Facebook and YouTube. We just started YouTube, so you can check out some of our videos, Locked and Loaded. But yeah, that's the mug. I had to put my little shameless plug in here while I got y'all attention. But and also you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Adorned Barbarian. Same name that's on YouTube. And make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm going to start putting up more videos. It probably won't be about pop culture or whatever. Just whatever randomly that's going on that I'm thinking about that I want to talk about. I'll jump on here or whatnot. But there was something that I really wanted to talk about because I had to sleep on it a little bit. Because I'm like, Niecy, what are you doing? At first... At first, it didn't trigger nothing for me. I was just like, whatever. And as I started constantly like seeing it and people talking about it, I'm going on Twitter, I'm seeing conversations about it or whatever. And I just started looking into it because I don't really follow her like that, to be perfectly honest. I started looking into it. I was like, this girl must be going through some type of phase. you know, or she just scared to be alone. Either way, I just wish she would have went by it differently. I really do, because those types of situations are sensitive situations. Because you're dealing with like marginalized group of people. The representation has to be right. And I know a lot of times we want to like jump out there and do something for shock value, for clicks and views, or whatever the case may be. But with certain things like this, you know, especially when it comes down to the LGBTQ community, you got to be very careful with how you represent certain things. And you have to be mindful of what's going on around you. You got to be mindful of what these people are saying and how they already view you on arguments that you have had to have, and things that, you know, they try to come back at you with, you know. And that's one of the things. Oh, you chose this. And I'm pretty sure, mark my word, she's going to be used as an example when somebody try to argue that it was a choice. But y'all let me know, do y'all feel like this is a phase? Do y'all feel like she has always, you know, been gay? And do y'all feel like maybe she is just afraid to be alone, or just doing this for shock value? Y'all just let me know. I'm gonna go on here to get off here. I can't believe I've been on here for 20 minutes. Y'all better like and subscribe and follow, because I done gave y'all 20 minutes of my life that I can't get back.